got an extra printout if somebody wants to say it.
The Song of 10,000 Climate Actions. Transportation, auto. Drive less. Carpool more. Participate in ride-sharing programs. Use park and ride programs. Plan and combine trips. Reduce the weight of vehicles by not hauling unnecessary items. If you have more than one vehicle, use the most efficient one when possible. Arrive and leave work earlier or later to avoid traffic congestion. When you rent a car, sign up for the TerraPass Carbon Offset Program. Driving techniques.
Accelerate gradually to save fuel. Plan to take the most fuel-efficient routes to destinations. Don't idle your car for more than a minute. Avoid drive-thrus to avoid idling time. Use the engine to brake rather than pedal brake. Park at the nearest end of parking lots and walk to the buildings and back. Anticipate and avoid traffic jams. Drive in the most efficient gear. Don't warm up the engine. Modern engines don't need it. Plan routes that are shorter, have fewer stop signs, stoplights, and more right turns and left turns. Drive slower to get better miles per gallon. Use cruise control set at 55 to 60. Use overdrive gears to make the engine work less. Switch to higher MPG vehicle. Switch to lower emission vehicle. Retrofit a Toyota Prius as a plug-in hybrid. See if your gas vehicle can be converted to natural gas. Sell your car. Share a car. Maintenance.
Keep tires properly inflated. Make sure used tires, motor oil, and car batteries get properly recycled and disposed of. You will produce less ozone if you fill in your car in the cooler part of the day. Seal your gas cap tightly to let fewer fumes escape. Don't top off tank, more fumes are released that way. Fix oil leaks. Before purchasing a new battery, make sure the service station or store will recycle the old one. Remove unused roof racks. Keep car tuned up. Use radial tires, they get better gas mileage. Have your car tested for emissions. Request that the coolant be recycled every time your air conditioner is serviced. Use regular gas instead of premium when possible. Don't store old batteries, get them to a hazardous waste facility. If you drain antifreeze, consider it hazardous waste and get it recycled. Extend tire life by rotating, balancing, proper inflation, and wheel alignment. When you have the air conditioner serviced, make sure the old CFC is collected for recycling. Airplane.
Fly less. Flying also purchase carbon offsets. Purchase the shortest route. Travel lightest. Alternatives.
Pay bills online instead of you or the Postal Service transporting the payment. Use mass transit where available. Reduce commuting by working at home. Walk more. Bicycle more. Skate more. Plan vacations for lower fuel consumption. Plan holidays closer to home where you can walk or bike to them. Walk up and down a few flights of stairs rather than take the elevator or escalator. Heating, cooling.
Use box fans instead of air conditioners. Use ceiling and attic fans instead of air conditioning. Do an energy audit of the home. Lower settings in winter. In the winter, open shades on south windows to increase solar heating. Wear warmer and more layers of clothing in the winter. Don't use your wood stove or fireplace when air quality is poor. For wood burners, use dry fuel to reduce smoke pollution and dangerous creosote. Use a wood stove newer than 1990 as they meet federal emission standards. Higher settings in summer. Turn the air conditioner to a warmer setting when leaving for more than an hour. Use ceiling and attic fans instead of air conditioner. Blow in cool air in evenings to cool house. Wear lighter, looser clothing in the summer. Turn off the air conditioner more. Use a programmable time thermostat. Add walling, ceiling insulation. Incorporate passive solar design into your home. Add a mostly passive solar heater to the south side of the house. When replacing windows, install the best energy-saving models. Make thermal shades for large and efficient glass areas. Paint your house a light color in hot climates and a dark color in cool climates. Replacing heating cooling equipment, look for the Energy Star rating and get the most efficient. When remodeling, add plenty of insulation and energy efficient glass. See if a passive solar heater is appropriate for your home. Maintenance.
Seal and insulate ducts going through unheated areas. Tune up oil furnaces annually. Gas and electric furnaces every 2 years. Repair or replace leaky windows or broken or cracked glass. Consider a plastic layer over single pane glass if too expensive to replace. Insulate the inside of electric outlet covers. Reverse your indoor ceiling fans for summer counterclockwise and winter operations clockwise. Find and seal other leaks in the building with weather stripping, caulk or insulation. Inspect and clean air filters regularly. Have air conditioner serviced every 3 years to keep it running efficiently. Clean air filters on your air conditioning unit regularly. Close off rooms that do not need to be heated or cooled. Close vents to those rooms.
Electric use and appliances. Turn off and unplug all unused devices. Turn off all standby devices, including the TV. Purchase Energy Star equipment that has low standby power. Use a smart power strip that turns off energy draining always-on transformers. And for lighting, replace all incandescent bulbs with compact fluorescence or LCD lights. Recycle used compact fluorescent bulbs at Home Depot or at hazardous waste centers. Install a light timer instead of leaving lights on when you are away. Use solar-powered holiday lights. Turn off lights when leaving a room. Turn off lights when you're watching a movie. Put timers on outdoor lighting. Have lights turn on and off based on motion detection. Clean dust off light fixtures at least every 2 years. Use one higher wattage bulb rather than several lower wattage bulbs. More light per watt. Use hand-powered generated flashlights. Use efficient LED task lighting. And then computer equipment.
Switch from a convenient CRT monitor to an efficient LCD screen. Set your computer screen to go to sleep after several minutes of non-use. Shut off the computer. It will not be used for more than a couple of hours. Replace idle processing power with number crunching climate projections. ClimatePrediction.net. Use the blackle.com site for searching instead of Google. The black screen uses less energy. Switch from a desktop to a lower power laptop. Clothes washing and drying. Use a clothesline or drying rack for drying clothes. Wash and rinse with cold water when possible. When using a clothes dryer, keep it lint-free and keep the exhaust hose unblocked. When replacing a clothes dryer, replace the most inefficient with the most efficient model on the market. Wait until you've all have a full load to wash clothes. Washing and drying dishes. Dry dishes using energy-saving settings. Dry dishes by hand. Only run a dishwasher when it is fully loaded. Don't use the heat cycle when drying. Hot water heater.
Turn your hot water heater to off or pilot when going on a trip. Add a solar heater or preheater to the roof. With electric hot water heaters, install a timer that turns it off midday and overnight. Turn the water heater temperature down. 120 degrees should be adequate. Replace old water heaters with energy efficient models. Add insulation to older hot water heaters. Use a tankless water heater that heats water just as it is needed. Insulate the hot water pipe coming out of the warm water heater. Once a year, drain a gallon of water from the bottom of the hot water heater to remove sediment.
Refrigerator, freezer. Check the tightness of the seal on the refrigerator door. Replace if necessary. Keep refrigerator condenser coils free of dust. Don't overfill the fridge. 60% full is optimal. A fully loaded freezer compartment retains cool better. Freeze gallons of water to use up empty space in freezers. Decide what you want in the fridge before opening the door. Close the fridge door immediately after getting something out of the fridge. Don't block airflow paths in the inside of the refrigerator. Replace old refrigerators with the most energy efficient models. If you have more than one refrigerator, consolidate them to fewer refrigerators. Refrigerators with the freezer on the top are 45% more efficient than ones with freezer on side. Top-loading freezers are more energy efficient than upright freezers. Locate fridge, freezer, and coolest spot in the room, not near ovens or broilers. Defrost old freezers often. Set your refrigerator temperature between 36 and 38 degrees. Set your freezer temperature between 0 and 5 degrees.
Cooking. Cover pans when heating food or boiling water. Eat more raw foods and less cooked meals. Use pressure cookers. Cook with a crock pot. Use a solar oven. Use steamers. When using an oven, minimize the time you open the oven door. Replace your electric or gas oven with a halogen oven. Using a microwave oven instead of a conventional oven saves energy. Use a 100% natural, additive-free or lump brand charcoal marked with either a Forest Stewardship Council or Rainforest Alliance certified logo. Widely accessible brands include Cowboy Charcoal and Green Link Charcoal. When purchasing a charcoal grill, be sure that it is equipped with closable vents so you can maximize charcoal usage. A cleaner burning gas or electric grill will be more environmentally friendly than one powered by charcoal. In general, use less, incorporate photovoltaic solar power into your home. If there is adequate wind energy, add a wind generator. Purchase green energy from your utility company. Check with the Green Power Network. Use electricity at off-peak hours. Water use.
Kitchen. Only run dishwasher when a full load. Keep a container of cold drinking water in the fridge. Install faucet aerators. Don't keep water running while hand washing dishes. Reuse water used for boiling or cooking beans by using it as a soup base. Bathroom. Install a low flow shower head. Showers generally use less water than baths. Shower with a partner. Install faucet aerators. Skip showers on days when you don't need one. Install a tank dam in each toilet tank. Put 1 or 2 bricks wrapped in plastic in each toilet tank. If the toilet is not a low flush design, drop 2-quart plastic bottles filled with water in the tank. Reduce the number of toilet flushes. Catch warm-up water from showers and use on gardens. Turn off water while brushing teeth. Turn off water while shaving.
Clothes washing. Wear clothes until they actually need to be washed. Wait for a full load before washing clothes. Turn off washing machine water supply to prevent leaks. Try one of the new small hand washing machines. Outdoors. Wash car on grass or gravel so runoff does not go directly into the storm sewer system. Don't leave the water running while washing the car. Wash car with buckets of water instead of running water. Water plants early or late in the day to reduce evaporative loss. Don't water if the plants don't really need it. Mulch garden to retain moisture. With larger gardens, consider drip irrigation or gray water systems. Revegetate or mulch distributed soil as soon as possible. Don't dump toxic liquids down a storm drain. Have your septic tank pumped and inspected regularly.
Turn off water right after use. Repair all water drips. If using a water softener, make sure it's adjusted correctly to not waste salt. Use biodegradable soaps. Dispose of toxic fluids properly. Follow community water use restrictions and guidelines. Purchase an Energy Star equipment that has low standby power. Use a smart power strip that turns off energy draining, always on transformers. Lighting. Replace all incandescent bulbs with compact fluorescents. Recycle used compact fluorescent bulbs at Home Depot. Okay. Oh, so sorry. Recycle all paper, newspaper, cardboard, reuse paper, print on backsides, cover up, cut up notepads, donate old magazines to nursing homes and waiting rooms, pass along old magazines to friends. If the place where you buy paper does not have 100% post-consumer waste recycled paper, request it. Donate colorful magazines to schools for use in art projects. Use 100% post-consumer recycled paper. Don't buy paper products from Kimberly-Clark, Kleenex, Scott, Viva, Cottonelle until they quit destroying threatened and endangered forests. Reuse cardboard boxes. Instead of buying cardboard boxes for moving or storage, get boxes from businesses that are throwing them away. When printing long documents, use the smallest font that is practical to lessen paper consumption. Save and reuse wrapping paper. Avoid using butcher or baker paper. They have a plastic lining. Use cloth napkins instead of paper. Try selling old unwanted books to a used bookstore. Use cloth handkerchiefs instead of paper tissue. Request those that send you printed material that they use post-consumer recycled, non-chlorinated paper. Use unbleached toilet paper made from recycled paper. Reuse manila and other envelopes by putting a new label over the old one. Reduce junk mail. Register with Mail Preference Service, Direct Marketing Association. Tell them you want off third-class mailing lists. Write to whomever sends you the most junk mail and demand that you take them off your list. Keep dish towels in kitchen to replace paper towels. Eat at restaurants that use washable dishware. Find the 800 number on unwanted catalogs that come in the mail and cancel mailings. When sending out invitations to events, email instead of printing and mailing as many as possible. Use old rags instead of paper towels to clean up spills. Wash and reuse the rags.
Packaging. Save and reuse packaging materials. Purchase products with minimal packaging. Refuse a bag for small purchases. Collect and reuse plastic and paper bags. Bring a cloth shopping bag or backpack on shopping trips. Bring containers to the grocery store and buy bulk foods without packaging. Bring your own containers for restaurant takeout or for leftovers. Buy one large size item rather than several small items to avoid excessive packaging. Use a reusable lunch container rather than a throwaway container. Recycle. Purchase items in recyclable packaging. When you pick up dry cleaning, see if you can get it without the plastic bags over it. Glass. Recycle all glass. When walking or jogging, pick up glass containers on the street for recycling. If there is no municipal glass recycling in your community, choose products in other types of containers. Intact windows can often be given to a salvage yard. Recycle old eyeglasses by donating them to the Lions Club. Wood. Buy products labeled as FSC certified from Sustainable Forestry. Particularly avoid teak, mahogany, and other rainforest woods unless it is labeled sustainably harvested. Buy reused timber. If you use a Christmas tree, dispose of it in a recycling program. Consider using a living potted tree, bush or plant, instead of cutting down a pine tree for Christmas. Recycle construction waste wood. Solid wood doors are valuable and can be reused. You can add sawdust to your compost. If you have too much, give it to a landscape.
Plastic. Recycle all plastics. Use a ceramic or reusable cup or glass for coffee and other beverages. Use reusable flatware instead of plastic. Use cloth diapers, not disposable ones. Avoid cling wrap made with PVCs. Reuse spray bottles and dish soap containers by refilling them. Turn old CDs into drink coasters and artwork. Recycle CDs to the Compact Disc Recycling Center of America, 68H Stiles Road, Salem, New Hampshire, 03079. Reuse plastic water bottles over and over before recycling. Instead of buying CDs, download the music. Instead of buying movie CDs, rent them online. Swap plastic exercise videos with friends. Avoid plastics that are labeled as PVC or number 3. Look for number 1 and number 2 plastics, which are easier to recycle and don't produce as many toxins. Buy a recycled plastic toothbrush or razor from Recycline made from used Stonyfield Farms yogurt cups, or one of those toothbrushes with the head that you can remove and reuse. Reuse plastic bags over and over before recycling. When walking or jogging, pick up plastic containers on the street for recycling. When buying plastic bins and other products, choose products made from recycled plastic. Metals.
Recycle all aluminum, including aluminum foil, pie plates, TV dinner trays. When walking or jogging, pick up aluminum cans on street for recycling. Use a staple-free stapler that pinches paper together. Avoid buying aerosol cans. They can be more difficult to recycle. Give extra clothes hangers to dry cleaners or secondhand clothing stores. Steel, iron, stainless steel, brass, and copper are also valuable recyclables. Rather than throw away bricks, see if a salvage material business will take them. Give old bathtubs and sinks to salvage yards or scrap dealers. If old appliances still work, get them to a Salvation Army or Goodwill store. Resell or trade in old sports and exercise equipment at Play It Again sports stores.
Hazardous Hazardous materials. Collect and dispose of old batteries, paint, and other hazardous materials to a hazardous waste site. Purchase non-toxic products. Store toxic materials safely. Have your house tested for radon. In older homes, test paint for lead. If leaded, cover it rather than sand or burn it off. When there is no non-toxic alternative, use the least amount of the substance possible. Instead of harsh chemicals, use cornstarch to clean windows, polish furniture, and shampoo rugs. Instead of toxic chemicals, use vinegar to cut grease, remove mildew and odors. Instead of oven cleaners, use baking soda and steel wool. Instead of bleached coffee filters, use unbleached. Avoid products using unsafe aerosols and cans. Buy the right amount of paint for each paint job. Buy and use recovered or recycled paint. Choose low VOC, volatile organic compound paints. Avoid products containing mercury and dispose of products containing mercury at appropriate drop-offs. Avoid battery-operated toys. Use rechargeable batteries. Use a solar-powered battery recharger. Use live animal traps instead of poisons. Choose a dry cleaner who will guarantee that the solvents are recycled. Instead of mothballs, use cedar chips or aromatic herbs. For cleaning, use white vinegar, baking soda, borax, and lemon juice. Paint with brushes or rollers instead of spraying to minimize harmful emissions. Avoid as many of these hazardous household items as possible. Spot remover, lighter fluid, paint stripper, pesticides, nail polish remover, drain openers, scouring powders, oven cleaners, toilet bowl cleaners, adhesives like super glue, caulk, paints, and thinners and mothballs. Use a chimney or electric charcoal starter instead of lighter fluid or self-starting briquettes. Lighter fluid contains volatile organic compounds, VOCs, that greatly degrade the ozone layer. Recycle paint thinner by first putting it in a glass jar and letting it settle. Reuse the clean thinner on top. Choose body care products from companies that have signed on to the Compact for Sale Cosmetics.
Food. Purchase organically grown foods. Purchase foods grown locally. Avoid fast foods. Purchase foods from farmers markets and food cooperatives. Shift diet to more plants and less meat. Buy foods in bulk to reduce packaging. Grow sprouts indoors year-round. Compost the tea in tea bags and recycle the paper tea bag. Choose fresh vegetables over frozen vegetables. Don't put food waste into a garbage disposal, compost instead. If you have extra food, fresh food, give it to the food bank or homeless shelter. When having a party catered, choose someone who can provide organic and local choices. Gifting.
Give unneeded, usable items to family members, friends, neighbors, or donate them to service organizations, charities that resell them or reuse them by selling them in yard sales or on commission at a secondhand store. Give gift memberships to environmental organizations. Give items purchased through fair trade markets. Give items that are completely recyclable. Give carbon offsets. Give fruit and shade trees. Wrap gifts in recycled paper. Give a book on creating a better world. Give old clothing to someone who can continue using them. Give old clothing to the Salvation Army, Goodwill Industries, or St. Vincent de Paul Society, or Assembly. Buy used clothing instead of new. Make rags out of old clothing. Avoid rayon as the production process wastes trees and water. Nike's reuse a shoe program turns old shoes into playground and athletic flooring. www.nikeshoe.com. One World Running will send wearable shoes to athletes in need in Africa, Latin America, and Haiti. www.oneworldrunning.com. General.
Choose reusable products over disposable products. Purchase products produced very locally. Shop with cloth or canvas shopping bags instead of plastic or paper. Purchase products from locally owned businesses. Plan parties to reuse rather than disposable items. Repair what can be fixed rather than throw it away. Download movies instead of buying them. Purchase products with reusable packaging. Get a copy of the Better World Shopping Guide and use it. Purchase the most energy efficient products. Purchase biodegradable products. Borrow instead of buying. Give old furniture to the Salvation Army or Goodwill. Rent rather than buy. Find ways to reuse items before you recycle them. Regularly audit the trash can. Are there items that can be recycled or whose purchase can be avoided? Choose high quality products that last longer. Buy less stuff. Use the online services FreeCycle and Craigslist to get rid of unwanted things. Use the online services FreeCycle and Craigslist to get and reuse someone else's unwanted things. Share tools and other items with friends and neighbors. Find alternatives to compulsive shopping, such as camping or laying around in a hammock all day. Wait a day or more before purchasing to really think if the purchase is necessary. When purchasing building materials, pick non-toxic and safe alternatives. Buy from companies with better environmental records and policies. Check consumer reports and avoid products that break easily. Before purchasing, figure out how you are going to dispose of the product and its packaging. Rather than throw stuff away, have a yard sale so the stuff will get reused. At the end of a yard sale, put the leftovers on the curb with a free sign. Send unrecycled items back to the manufacturer and tell them they need to make the products more responsibly. Education.
Education. Read Inconvenient Truth. Read Heat. Read The End of Nature. Read The Green Collar Economy. Read Blessed Unrest. Viewing.
Watch The Inconvenient Truth. Watch The Great Warming. Loan out inconvenient truth to friends and neighbors. Watch Forecast Earth on the Weather Channel. Watch The 11th Hour. Watch The Age of Stupid. Watch Food Inc. Calculate your carbon footprint at www.climatecrisis.net with a bunch of other stuff. Calculate your carbon footprint at www.epa.gov. Calculate your carbon footprint at www.safeclimate.net calculator. Calculate your carbon footprint at www.bd.com. Found out which companies are doing more for the environment at www.climatecounts.org. Find out about citizens' campaigns of global warming at stepitup2007.org. General, study the principles of the permaculture. Test your water purity. Be skeptical of information coming from the auto industry, for sure. Be skeptical of information coming from oil companies, double be sure. Be skeptical of information coming from the large utility companies. Learn how to conduct an energy audit of your home, business, or hire someone else to do it. See if your utility company will conduct an energy audit for your home. Learn sorting and recycling guidelines from local recyclers and trash collection companies. Study Native American care of the environment. A good book is 1941, Yard and Garden.
Form cooperatives such as workers' cooperatives, food cooperatives, housing cooperatives, all kinds of cooperatives of people working together. Yard and garden. Plant trees to shade a house from summer heat. Plant trees to shade outside air conditioning units. Plant trees to sequester carbon dioxide. Plant fruit trees. Plant fast-growing trees. Reduce lawn size. Plant drought-tolerant native wildflowers. Plants and herbs. Let grass clippings mulch into the yard. Direct rainforest hitting your roof so it soaks into the yard or gets stored in a cistern, not the sewer system. Make your lawn organic. Dig up unneeded concrete and let things grow there. Create a wildlife habitat in part of your yard. Restore native plants along streams. Use solar-powered pathway lights instead of wire lights. Repair erosion from streams. Crowd out weeds to overseeding the lawn. Use pest and drought-resistant native plants. Cut the grass higher as it keeps more moisture in the soil. Cut up larger fallen branches to use for firewood. When putting down concrete, use previous concrete.
Give smile.
Sign up for a plot in a community garden. Compost all organic yard and kitchen waste. Collect kitchen waste from nearby restaurants and compost it. Collect leaves and yard waste from neighbors and compost it. Chip or compost yard waste instead of burning. Use greenhouses or cover plants to extend the growing season. Plant flowers and herbs that act as natural pesticides. Lifestyle.
Start barbecues with an electric probe rather than lighter fluid. Spend less time indoors, more time in the garden and yard. Spend more time camping. Maintenance. Minimize use of pesticides. Repair any leaking faucets and hoses. If fertilizing, use organic or slow-release fertilizer. If using power mowers, let grass grow taller before cutting. Eliminate the use of fertilizers. Use organic compost instead. Reduce or eliminate the use of weed killers. Pull the weeds out, root and all. Take care of unwedded pests without toxic pesticides. Refuel mowing equipment in cooling weather. Avoid trash burning. Avoid using leaf blowers. Avoid smoldering fires. They produce the most air pollution. Buying decisions. Replace gas mowers with electric mowers. Better still, trade gas and electric mowers for hand-reel push mowers. Recreation. Plan vacation trips close by. Sailing and canoeing instead of motorboating. Wildlife photography instead of hunting. Off-road bicycling instead of off-road motor vehicles. When walking, carry a container to pick up aluminum cans and plastic and glass for later recycling. Some low-impact recreation include walking, jogging, hiking, bicycling, wildlife photography, canoeing, camping, tennis, golf, frisbee golf, swimming, soccer, football, baseball, basketball, rugby, table tennis. When golfing, walk rather than use a golf cart. When using a golf cart, pick an electric cart over a gas model. On the golf course, find and reuse golf tees. When fishing, don't use lead weights. When fishing, consider using poles and gear made from natural materials like bamboo or cork.
Purchase carbon offsets with a donation to www.carbonfund.org. Purchase carbon offsets with a donation to www.carbonneutral.com. Purchase carbon offsets with a donation to www.renewablechoice.com. Purchase carbon offsets with a donation to www.terrapass.com. Purchase carbon offsets with a donation to www.carbonzero.org. Use working assets long distance service or working assets credit cards to have a percent of fees donated to environmental causes. Place investments only in socially responsible funds that protect the environment. Donate a percentage of your income to environmental causes, family and friends.
Ride share when possible. Suggest more temperature appropriate clothing to family members that request more heating or cooling. Teach electricity conservation to the rest of your family. At gatherings, use filtered tap water rather than bottled water. Teach recycling habits to the rest of the family. Share rare or infrequently used tools. Share magazines, newspaper articles, audio and videotapes on climate change with them. Share this list with family and friends. Discuss environmental issues and green lifestyle choices. Share a garden together. Organize hikes and walks together. Neighborhood.
Transportation. Report smoking vehicles to your local air agency. Support speed reducing design like speed bumps. Heating and cooling. Electrical use. Report street lights that do not turn off as it gets light. Water use. Report water main leak. Consumption. Share rare or infrequently used tools. Have a neighborhood yard sale. Education. Hand out flyers door to door about how to get recycling started. Yard and garden. Consider organizing a community neighborhood garden. Participate in an existing neighborhood garden if there is one. Organize a neighborhood composting operation. Office.
Carpool to work with coworkers. Organize carpooling company-wide. Organize internet video conferences rather than fly or drive to a distant location. Work from home. Encourage company dress codes that keep people cooler in summer and warmer in winter. Like summer, no ties or suits and coats necessary. Programmable thermostats to control temperature more efficiently. Switch computer monitors from CRTs to LCDs, which emit much less heat. Switch computer monitors from CRTs to LCDs, which consume much less energy. Install compact fluorescents whenever possible. Shut off electrical equipment when you leave work. Motion detector light switches in rooms that are less used. Consider a company policy of not purchasing bottled water. Quickly repair all leaky faucets. Organize the buying of recycled fiber toilet paper. Use ceramic and glass liquid containers rather than throwaway cups. Organize the purchase of post-consumer waste copy paper. Organize recycling of all office waste paper. Instead of buying packaging peanuts, consider using your shredded waste paper. Recycle all cardboard and paperboard. Print using both sides of the paper. Reuse items like envelopes, folders, and paper clips. Use mailer sheets for inter-office mail instead of envelopes. Use a bulletin board notice rather than send individual notices to each employee. Use email instead of paper. Recycle all aluminum cans. Recycle ink and toner cartridges. Purchase refilled ink cartridges and laser toner cartridges. Use discarded paper for scrap paper. Encourage the use of printing using soy-based, less toxic ink. Get soy-based and ink toner cartridges at greenoffice.com. Reuse packaging peanuts. If you get too many peanuts to reuse, collect them and give them to a business that will use them. For every 30 or so employees, designate a recycling coordinator. If the place where you buy paper does not have 100% post-consumer waste recycled paper, request they get it. When having an event catered, choose someone who can provide organic and local choices. When serving food at group events, use regular plates and utensils instead of plastic or paper.
I didn't get it.
Organize seminars on recycling and other environmental habits. Publicize the recycling program through company emails, memos, and newsletters. Put any landscaping watering on a computerized schedule with sensors to save maximum water. Compost mowed grass, dead leaves, and small branches. Farm.
Consider using 100% biodiesel in farm vehicles. Support the most local markets for distributing farm products. Save the pickup trucks for hauling. Use more energy-efficient vehicles for other trips. Use passive solar energy systems to heat, space, and water. Produce your own electricity with methane from animals. Use flowing water to generate electricity. Use small wind turbines to generate electricity or pump water. Use solar energy to dry crops and for wood kilns. Install compact fluorescents wherever possible. Use water-conserving drip irrigation systems. Use soil samples to keep from over-fertilizing soil. Read and act on all conservation bulletins. Switch to low-till or no-till practices. Plant more winter cover crops. Improve the soil by returning all organic waste to the soil. Plant more grasses and trees along waterways. Switch to organic farming methods. Compost mowed to grass, dead leaves, and small branches. Market garden produce directly to local consumers. Offer a program of work share where consumers trade labor for parts of the harvest. School.
Transportation. Support carpooling to school events. Support alternative fuels like natural gas in school buses. Heating, cooling. Use passive solar energy systems to heat, space, and water. Programmable thermostats to control temperature more efficiently. Electrical use. Use small wind turbines to generate electricity or pump water. Turn off classroom lighting when classes are not in session. Use natural lighting in classrooms when possible. Install compact fluorescents wherever possible. In dorm rooms, choose energy-efficient appliances like smaller TVs. Water use. Quickly repair all leaky faucets. Install auto shut-off faucets in bathrooms. Consumption. Reuse backsides of used paper. Recycle all school paper waste. Organize the buying of recycled fiber toilet paper. Organize the purchase of post-consumer waste copy paper. Print using both sides of paper. Use a recycled notebook paper. If the place where you buy does not have 100% post-consumer waste recycled paper, request it. Reuse items like envelopes, folders, and paper clips. Use a bulletin board notice rather than send individual notices to each student. Use email instead of paper. Use a recycled paper. Use discarded paper for scrap paper. Encourage the use of printing using soy-based less toxic ink. Education. Add recycling curriculum. Add climate change curriculum. Add ecosystem curriculum. Teach students and faculty how to recycle. Consider a career in the recycling field. Consider a career in energy efficient work. Consider a career in renewable energy. Yard, garden, field. Have a school organic garden to teach and provide food for the school. Compost waste from the school cafeteria. Compost mowed grass, dead leaves, and small branches. Put any landscaping watering on a computerized schedule with sensors to save maximum water. Recreation. Teach nature appreciation classes. Organize field trips to learn about the natural world.
Church, transportation, organize carpooling to church events. Purchase the most fuel-efficient church vehicles. keep vehicles well maintained and correct tire pressure, heating and cooling, programmable thermostats to control temperature more efficiently. Electrical use, install compact fluorescents whenever possible. Water use, consider a church policy of not purchasing bottled water. Quickly repair all leaky faucets. Consumption, organize the buying of recycled fiber toilet paper. Use ceramic and glass liquid containers rather than throwaway cups. Organize the purchase of post-consumer waste copy paper. Organize recycling of all waste paper. Recycle all cardboard and paperboard. Print using both sides of paper. If the place where you buy paper does not have 100% post-consumer waste recycled paper, request it. Reuse items like envelopes, folders, and paper clips. Use email instead of paper. Recycle all aluminum cans. Recycle ink cartridges. Use discarded paper for scrap paper. Encourage the use of printing using soy-based, less toxic ink. Reuse packaging peanuts. If you get too many peanuts to reuse, collect them and give them to a business that will use them. Education, eco tips and environmental articles in newsletter and bulletin. Request sermons and Sunday school lessons on earth stewardship. Yard, garden, field. Put any landscaping watering on a computerized schedule with sensors to save maximum water. Convert some of the church grounds to an organic garden. Compost mowed grass, dead leaves, and small branches. Community.
Help pass legislation to reduce greenhouse gases at least 80% by 2050. Help get your city to pass the U.S. Mayor's Climate Protection Agreement. Encourage the city to put an environmental expert in climate change on staff to advise all city departments on ways to reduce carbon emissions. Purchase carbon emission credits that fund alternative energy development. Write to candidates for public office and urge them to take action to combat global warming. Vote for climate-friendly politicians. Write to a local official about an environmental issue at least 3 times a year. When you see a business doing something wasteful, talk to the management about correcting it. Promote the use of the local hazardous waste facility. Transportation. Purchase only hybrid and super ultra lower emission vehicles. Purchase the creation of high-density developments that reduce vehicle trips. Create parking for car share and multi-passenger vehicles. Talk to your local car dealerships about your desire to have 100+ mile per gallon plug-in hybrids available. Yay! Promote electric car charging stations and alternative fuel stations. Support government purchasing plug-in hybrids. Demand better mass transit solutions. We do have 2 all-electric cars here, a Tesla Roadster and a Nissan Leaf, all electric, no gas.
Heating and cooling require energy efficiency in design of new buildings. Support zero emissions new buildings. Encourage on-site renewable energy development. Programmable thermostats to control temperature more efficiently in all public buildings. Electrical use. Install energy-efficient lights in public buildings. Use LED traffic signals. Use high-pressure sodium streetlights. Require energy efficiency standard in appliances. Require energy efficiency standards in office equipment. Require energy efficient standards in lighting. Explore generating electricity through methane recovery at water treatment facilities. See if there are ordinances that inhibit renewable energy use and get them removed. Close down any local coal-fired power plants. Write to your bank and urge them not to fund proposed new coal plants. See if the municipal landfill is designed where methane gas will be used for power generation. Water use. Require water reuse systems. Encourage solar water heating consumption. Encourage expansion of recycling programs. Promote charging trash pickup based on poundage. Shop at the greenest stores for durable goods. Shop at the greenest grocery stores. At the dry cleaner, bring your own garment bag when picking up your clothes. Use a green dryer cleaner that doesn't use harmful chemicals. Promote community recycling drop-off centers. Support creating a recycling station at the entrance to the municipal landfill. Participate in recycling drives by nonprofits like the Boy Scouts or Lions Club. Education, keep track of candidates and elected officials' environmental positions. Support effort to create a greenhouse gas emissions inventory for the community. Join and take part in a local environmental organization. Talk with local officials about creating a community energy plan. Make sure local elected officials are educated about climate change and solutions. Make sure local elected officials are aware of deep commitment to find local solutions to warming. Yard and garden.
Plant trees with a city beautification project. A city landfill develop methane recovery technology. At city landfills, support a composting operation. Promote and participate in community gardens. Support and protect existing green spaces. Support walking trails. Support sidewalks. Support bicycle paths and routes. State, in general, help pass legislation to reduce greenhouse gases. Oh, I'm back to where I should be. Electrical use. Support adding 3 million 1 megawatt wind generators. Support adding 2,000 gigawatt peak solar photovoltaic units. Work toward a ban on the new coal-fired power plants that do not have CO2 sequestration. Work together in getting older, dirtier coal plants decommissioned. Support substituting natural gas power generation for over-coal generation in the short term. Support demonstration plants for solar thermal and photovoltaic technologies. Support higher efficiency, energy efficiency standards for appliances. Water use. Support enforcement of the Clean Water Act. Support manufacturing standards that make products more easily recycled. Keep track of candidates and elected officials on their environmental positions. Support federal plans for planting more trees, twice as many. Protect existing forests. Protect wilderness areas. Support funding for development nature appreciation programs. Global.
At the state level, help pass legislation to reduce greenhouse gases by at least 8% by 2050. Require city governments to include greenhouse gas reduction in updating their general plans. Remove sales tax for production or purchase of renewable energy equipment. Support states joining together with other regional states in greenhouse gas reduction programs. Write to candidates for public office and urge them to take action to combat global warming. Support government purchasing of plug-in hybrids. Support zero emissions new buildings. Support stringent building efficiency standards. Support government implementation of high efficiency new government buildings. Programmable thermostats to control temperature more efficiently in all state buildings. See if there are any state laws that inhibit renewable energy use and get them removed. Close down any state coal-fired power plants. Support Support a moratorium on new coal power plants that do not sequester carbon. Support municipal waste systems and funding for their maintenance. Write to state representatives to support legislation that supports recycling and packaging reduction. Keep track of candidates and elected officials, environmental positions. Support efforts to create a greenhouse gas emissions inventory for the state. Plant trees with a conservation group. Support state plans for planting more trees, twice as many. And support existing forests. Nation.
Urge your senators to support the strongest legislation for reducing CO2 emissions. Support physical limit of CO2 for all large fossil fuel users, with the cap declining to zero before 2050. Support eliminating subsidies and tax breaks for fossil fuels and nuclear power. Have federal contracts give an advantage to early adopters of CO2 emission reduction. Create a standing committee on energy and climate under the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Write to candidates for public office and urge them to take action to combat global warming. Support a strong replacement of the Kyoto Protocol. Join Earth Justice as they supply free legal counsel to halt global warming. Join Environmental Defense, receive monthly newsletter. Join Sierra Club and read their publications. Join Nature Conservancy to read their magazine. Vote for candidates with the best environmental records and positions. Transportation. Support regulations that produce zero-emission vehicles. Support stricter emission standards. Support the production of non-crop biofuels. Support eliminating subsidies for biofuels from food crops. Support higher efficiency standards. Support research into microalgae for liquid fuel production. Support government purchasing of plug-in hybrids. Heating, cooling. Support stringent building efficiency standards. Support zero-emission new buildings. Support government implementation of high-efficiency new government buildings. Support removal of policies that inhibit renewable energy use. Electrical use. Support adding 3 million 1-megawatt wind generators. Support adding 2,000 gigawatt peak solar photovoltaic units. Work toward a ban on new coal-fired power plants that do not have CO2 sequestering. Work toward getting older, dirtier coal plants decommissioned. Support substituting natural gas power generation over coal generation in the short term. Support demonstration plants for solar, thermal, and photovoltaic technologies. Support higher energy efficient standards for appliance. Water use. Support enforcement of the Clean Water Act. Consumption. Support manufacturing standards that make products more easily recyclable. Education. Keep track of candidates and elected officials, environmental positions. Yard and garden. Support federal plans for planting more trees, twice as many, 300 times as many. Protect existing forests and recreation. Protect wilderness areas. Support funding for developing nature appreciation programs. And last but final, global.
Support nations signing and meeting the goals of the Kyoto Protocol. Support the strongest possible agreement at the Copenhagen talks that happened in December 2007 summit will happen next in Paris. Work toward increasing fuel economy from 30 miles per gallon to 60 miles per gallon and beyond. Support technology transfer that promotes renewable electricity generation. Support international agreements to improve water quality. Support international agreements to conserve water resources. Support a cultural shift to move away from throwaway mentality. Take part in an Earth Day, April 22nd celebration. Join Stop Global Warming virtual walk. Use email to share carbon reducing ideas with people around the world. Take part in World Environment Day activities on June 5th. Support national plans for planting more trees, way more trees. Support a shift to ecotourism. Support taking advantage of recreation that involves shorter travel. Support forest preservation. Purchase land through organizations that are setting forests aside from development. An acre costs as little as $100. That's it!